So to explain this as quickly as possible, last night I did a stream of Kingdom Hearts 3 on critical mode. I haven't beaten it, I wanted to do so. I knew it wasn't happening, I'm still at the early part of the game. There was a part, and I fucked up this whole stream. It was the first stream I did in like 5 years, so I had no music for most of it. It was not even full screen for a lot of the time, so there was a little black border. But there was 8 solid minutes when I just kept talking about Tenchi Muyo at the worst moment to ever do it, and I thought that was funny, so I'm just going to go ahead and upload it. So the music playing here is just Traverse Town on repeat. I'm sorry that it's just that, but I'm not about to put a bunch of work into this, I just think it's kind of funny. So enjoy, I will have a real video out at some point in the future. Best of my knowledge, I am not. The only Disney cartoon I've watched lately was Owl House, and that's because it reminded me of Little Witch Academia, and the teacher from it kind of reminded me of Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo, which is something I do not expect you to have seen on account of it coming from the early 90s, but I would recommend it, and I need to watch the 2 newest seasons, which happened recently. I worry about them because I wasn't... So Tenchi is a weird series. There was originally an OVA just called Tenchi Muyo. It was about this boy. His name was Tenchi. And, you know, he lived with his dad and his grandpa in the woods. His mom was dead. And anyways, he awakens a woman, and she was Ryoko. And, you know, they fight, they go to school, she blows the fuck up his school, and that way there's no high school in this anime. High school is blown the fuck up. No more high school. So that's the first plus for it. Then, Ryoko decides, hey, Tenchi, I wanna fuck you. And it's like, shit, this broad wants to fuck me. And Tenchi, he stops it because, you know, he's a harem protagonist. You don't have sex when you're a harem protagonist. And then anyways, this other woman from space comes in, Ayeka, and she's like, hey, fuck you, you have the magic sword from my home planet. And Tenchi's like, what? And anyways, then shenanigans ensue. And then Ayeka also decides, hey Tenchi, I want to fuck you. And Tenchi's like, no, fuck that. I'm a harem protagonist. And then basically more women show up that want to fuck him. All from space. They're all space women, and that was the cool part. And eventually... So after that, it was a 6-episode thing. He had the space sword, he fought the space villain. Turns out he's also part alien, and it kept on going. I have a Discord message. Let's check who it is. Okay, never mind. Not important. And so that whole thing ended. That's right. They all have Ed. And so anyways, what happened next? Yeah, then there's a 6-episode OVA. Then there was, I want to say it was a 26-episode series that somewhat retold it, but it kind of just started when there was shenanigans, and this opened up the Tenchi Muyo multiverse, because it did not take place in the same universe as the first OVA. And so then, after that, there was a second OVA that ignored the Funny Shenanigans TV series. And there was a manga, and I cannot for the life of me remember if it was a sequel to the OVAs or if it was a sequel to the Funny Shenanigans TV series. But it was a sequel to one of them. And then there was a third TV series called Tenchi in Tokyo, and I think you can guess what happens. So our boy Tenchi, yeah, it does sound whack. He decides, hey, I'm gonna go to Tokyo, and all the women that want to bang him are like, Tenchi, don't go to Tokyo. We can't bang you if you're over there. And he's like, Daijobu. So he goes to Tokyo, he meets another girl, he's like, I like this girl in Tokyo. And then it turns out this girl he meets in Tokyo had some space darkness thing. I have not watched Tenchi in Tokyo in forever. It's not really that good. And this is in a different universe than the first two things. And so that ended. There was a movie I never watched. There was a sequel to Tenchi in Tokyo. Maybe I'll watch it eventually. Anyways, then after that, there was a movie that was a sequel to Tenchi Universe, I think. And it was, okay. And there was another movie, I don't remember which universe that one was a part of. Then there was a third Tenchi Muyo OVA. There was a sequel to the OVAs again. And that one was okay. It could have been better, could have been worse. It introduced some new characters that didn't quite vibe with me, because by this point I was already comfy with everyone who was already introduced. There was some god bullshit that happened. Then there was the sequel. What was that one? I think it was Tenchi Muyo GXP. Again, it was a sequel to the OVAs, but it starred like a whole new cast. Like there's a guy that wasn't Tenchi, he was a space cop. Which is fine, the space cops were introduced in the original. It was part of the original canon. And he had his own women that wanted to bang him. And I gotta respect the boy, because instead of ending with him banging none of them, he marries all of them. He has a big fucking wedding with all the women. He's married to everyone now. And it was a pretty good ending, just because it decided, fuck it, we don't know what to do. And so he did all of them. Then there was another series that was a sequel to that I never watched with a whole new cast. I think I saw an image of it with like giant fucking Dragon Ball Z rock pillars, you know, the place they do all the fights in. And then there's 2 new sequels to the OVAs that I assume takes place before GXP. There you go. You are now a Tenchi Muyo lore master. I hope you're happy. What is even going on in the game at this point?